At Raju Law, we don't just provide legal services, we provide a pathway to your American dream. With offices in New York, Los Angeles, Washington, D.C., Atlanta, Dhaka, and Dubai, our global team is dedicated to delivering personalized immigration solutions. Whether you are pursuing a green card or navigating complex immigration processes, we are here to guide you at every stage. With a team of 10 associate attorneys and more than 180 law clerks and case managers, we craft solutions tailored to your unique needs. Our technology-driven platform ensures the fastest, most efficient service, saving your time while upholding the highest standards of quality. At Raju Law, we believe in affordable, transparent pricing without compromising on service excellence. Raju Law, where your American dream meets expert legal support. Contact us today.
Hello and welcome everyone. I'm Manshi and I'm absolutely delighted to have you with us for another episode of Immigration for All, brought to you by Nerohi Global and proudly powered by Kulna Tech. If you've been tuning in, you know that we have recently rebranded our Monday Live series to Immigration for All, a name that truly reflects our mission to make immigration knowledgeable, clear, accessible, and practical for everyone, no matter where you are in your journey. And here is some exciting news. So, our show is now officially available on Spotify and Apple Podcast. Whether you're commuting, working out, or just unwinding at home, you can catch all our episodes anytime and anywhere. Today, we are spotlighting a very unique and exciting areas of US immigration, fashion models and their visa options. The US fashion industry is globally recognized and many international models seeks opportunities here. But the immigration pathway, whether let's say O1 visas for individual with extraordinary ability, H1B3 for fashion models, or even green card option can seem complex. So, in this episode, we will break down what aspiring models, agencies, and talented managers needs to know in 2025 about eligibility, requirements, timelines, and how to successfully navigate the US system. Now, without further delay, let's welcome our special guest, Mr. Raju Mahajan, Principal Attorney at Raju Law. Mr. Mahajan is a highly experienced immigration attorney who worked extensively with professionals across industries, including talent and fashion. He had many foreign nationals, including models, pursue US visas and opportunities successfully. Hello, Mr. Mahajan, how are you?
I'm good. Thank you, Manushi, for inviting me here. How are you?
I'm good too.
Thank you very much. So, without further delay, let me start. Talking about U.S. immigration journey for fashion models. Uh, let, how do? Oh, interesting. Oh yeah, it's here. So thank you, everyone. As Manushi said, United States is a great place for pretty much all professionals, including fashion models, especially those who are living in a foreign country, like a foreign fashion model. So today, I am going. This presentation is going to be a kind of like a survey. We're going to talk about different options, but we are not going deep into every different options because we have multiple videos about all the different options in our YouTube channel and all other places. So if you go there, you can get detailed information. But it'll be more of a survey, like talking a little bit about every different options kind of things. So without further delay, let's go to our presentation. So I am going to divide our today's presentation into three main topics. One is immigrant visa. So many people know that immigrant visa means getting green card, meaning you're coming to America, staying here permanently, you're going to get green card, and down the line, in general, after 5 years, you are going to get US citizenship, US passport, and then you can also bring your parents, siblings, and other people too. So that's immigrant visa. Non-immigrant visa, on the other hand, is for temporary visit. In most cases, this is for job or like a special kind of like let's say you are attending New York Fashion Week, right? Or you are coming for a conference or some exhibition kind of thing for a temporary period. It can be as small as like a week to as long as like 6 years under H-1B kind of thing. But your main intention is not to stay here permanently. Your intention is to come to America, do your work, and go back to your home country. That's why it's called non-immigrant. And in general, it's for job, but it's for many different purposes too. And the third one is entrepreneurship visa. So this is kind of like a unique. Many people do not know about that, but let me explain everything so you have a better understanding of what is entrepreneurship visa for fashion models. So this is a very, I'll not say very unique, but surprisingly, many people don't know about it. So definitely, I'm going to talk about that today. So I'm going to next slide. First, I'm going to talk about immigrant visa, meaning green card. Of course, you can get US green card in many different ways, but for fashion models, especially, I found these three, EB1A, EB2 NIW, and EB3. These three could be a pathway for you to get US green card. First, EB1A. So again, as I said earlier, that I'm not going to talk about detail about EB1A here because that's a whole big discussion. I'm not going to spend that much time here. But if you are really interested about EB1A, I highly advise you to go to our YouTube channel. We have a lot of videos about EB1A, and you can enlighten yourself. But in short, EB1A is for extraordinary ability person. If you are an extraordinary ability person as a foreign model, you can definitely qualify for EB1A. There are 10 criteria. In general, if you meet 3 criteria, you will be eligible to apply for EB1A. But we from our law firm, we strongly recommend to meet at least 5 criteria before you apply for EB1A, because sometimes we submit to USCIS and said that, hey, my client meets this 5 criteria, and USCIS officer will say, no, she doesn't meet this one, or he doesn't meet that one. So even if they deduct 2, at least you'll have 3, and then your case will be approved. And out of these 10 criteria, the number one and the most important one is a national or international award. I know that there's a lot of awards in fashion industry. And just remember that there are 2 different kinds of award. One is like a competitive kind of award, and another one is like an honorary kind of award. So honorary awards are not accepted as part of EB1A. It must be a competitive award. So let's say there is an organization, very reputable organization, they give award for fashion models, and there's like a competition, like every year they call for submission or something, and they have like a jury board decide who will be the champion, who will be the first runner-up, second runner-up, and there's like whole judgment procedure. There is a criteria, there's a different steps. So we need to submit information and evidence of the entire process. We cannot just say Miss X win, let's say, Indian National Fashion Award, and USCIS will say, okay, come to America. It's not going to be happen. We need to submit evidence and information about the existing procedure for Indian National Fashion Award, right? So I advise my clients not to just apply, but build your profile, because sometimes what USCIS requires for each application is a little different from what happens in real life. Let's say you're a very famous fashion model, you received multiple awards. So when the award giving organization, when they give you award, their purpose is not about immigration. Their purpose is something different. So their documentation, their criteria, their information, their other thing is totally different from what USCIS, the US government agency, requires. So sometimes you need time to kind of prepare documents that is suitable for immigration. And I highly recommend you to spend some time, build your profile, convert your documents from real life to eligible for US immigration, and then apply. It's good for you, it's good for me, it's good for everybody. So again, there are 10 criteria. You have to meet 3, but the number one, the most important one is the award, like national or international award. If you meet this criteria, you can go to our website. We have a button for EB1A evaluation. Submit your profile, and then we will evaluate and we'll let you know if you qualify for this or not. I can just tell you one thing: our evaluation procedure is very strict. I would like to be very brutal honest. I do not want to sugarcoat anything. A lot of attorneys, a lot of other people, they will sugarcoat. I'm not that kind of person. I'll be very brutally honest. I'll say, hey, I'm sorry, your case do not qualify for US immigration. And even if you do not like it, that's okay. I would like to be honest rather than taking money from you and then say, sorry, your case is not approved, so you lose your money, time, and energy, right? I don't want to do that. So if you submit your profile for EB1A evaluation, I can get back to you about whether your case is good for submission or not, and also if there's any room for improvement, I'm going to tell you about that. So that's EB1A. Next topic is EB2 NIW. In general, EB2 NIW is for people with PhD degree or master's degree with a very good job, like a very so in EB2 NIW stands for National Interest Waiver. So you're going to do something that is going to benefit America's national interest. So in fashion industry also, there's a lot of education. You can get bachelor degree, master's degree, PhD degree with fashion, designing, another thing. And not only that, you have to have a degree. Let's say you have a bachelor degree in fashion designing, but on the top of that, you are doing a special kind of project. Let's say you are designing clothes, kind of like a blending African tradition and modern European concepts. So you're kind of blending traditional African concept and modern European concept, and you're coming up with some unique fashion ideas that will not only protect the interest of America, but may also protect the interest of the entire world. It may come up with some very new, unique cultural kind of identity and other things. So then you may qualify for EB2 NIW. One big difference between EB1A and EB2 NIW is that EB1A is more of a quantitative. There's a 10 criteria. If you meet 3, go ahead, you can submit your application. On the other hand, NIW is more of a qualitative. We have to evaluate everything. We have to explain everything. And the most important part is America's national interest. So, cultural enrichment, understanding global culture, that's a part of big America's national interest. So I saw that some folks, not all, fashion models qualify for EB2 NIW, but some folks, especially those who are kind of like, directorial position, who kind of design things, who kind of play with the ideas, like unique and multicultural experimental ideas, you may qualify for EB2 NIW. Again, we have a evaluation process. If you go to our website, there's a button, you can click it. By the way, our website is www.rajulaw.com, RAJULAW.com. There's a button for EB2 NIW. If you're interested, you can evaluate, but just remember that just because you're a fashion model, you do not qualify for EB2 NIW. You have to come up with some unique idea. It must be some sort of creative input for this industry. Then you may qualify for EB2 NIW. And the good thing about EB1A and EB2 NIW is you can apply by yourself. And by yourself meaning, of course, you can take help from a lawyer, but you do not need a job. You do not need a sponsorship from America. It's you who is the main petitioner. You are going to apply to America. And if you get approved, you can get green card, come to America. Good. The third topic for green card is EB3. So EB3 is more of an employer sponsored. Let's say an American agent is going to sponsor you, or American fashion brand, let's say Walmart, or let's say Gap, or H&M, or Macy's, all those like Louis Vuitton, or Kate Spade, all these big names in fashion industry. Let's say they are going to sponsor you as a fashion model. They have a lot of events going on. They may need the internal designer and other things. So if they want to sponsor you, then it's called EB3. It can be EB2 too, but in general it's EB3. So the big difference is you cannot apply by yourself. You must have a job, and your sponsor, your employer is going to sponsor you. There are 3 steps. The first one is called PERM. Again, I'm not going that detail into EB3 process. We have multiple videos about EB3. So all you have to do is you have to find an employer here in America. You have to talk to them. Hey, do you want to sponsor me? If they say yes, then your sponsor can contact me. And in EB3 process, you're not my client. your sponsor is going to be my client, your employer is going to be my client. And all this attorney client privilege and everything will apply to your employer, not to you. Again, I'm not going that detail into it, but just saying there are three steps. The first one is called perm, the second one is I-140, and the third one can be I-485 or IBP, depending on where you are. And in general, it takes like, let's say, 3 to 5 years. It's a long time, long process, but at the end of the day, you're going to get green card. And the requirement for EB3 is not as hard as EB1A or NIW. It's comparatively easy, but again, you need a sponsor, you need a job for that. So that's the main category for immigrant visas, like green card. Now I'm going to talk about non-immigrant visas. Like, the purpose of, as I said, non-immigrant visa is you're coming to America for a specific purpose. You're going to do some job. After your job is over, you're going back to your home country. Even though while you are in America with a non-immigrant visa, if you qualify for immigrant visa like EB1A, EB2 NIW, EB3, you can definitely apply for those. These two things can go parallelly, but you have to remember that the intent, and intent is a legal term. Intent you must follow certain intent for certain categories, and sometimes some people, they do some mistake. Don't worry, I'm here to help you, I'll guide you. I'm not going to talk about again intent here. That's another very complex legal theoretical discussion. Many people find it very complex, but it's a little complex, but I already had a presentation about intent another time, so you can go to our YouTube channel and listen to that. Short point, the intent for non-immigrant visas are you're coming to America for a specific purpose for short time and going back. So the first one is H-1B. Every year in the month of March, there's a lottery. And again, you cannot apply by yourself for this lottery. You have to have a job. Your employer, the employer can be an agent, employer can be an organization, employer can be a company like Macy's or any fashion company. They are going to participate for you in that lottery, and if they win, then there's a second step, third step, and at the end of the day, you're coming to America under H-1B visa. For H-1B visa, you will get visa for at first 3 years, and then another extension of 3 years, total 6 years. After 6 years, there's more options. I'm not going that detail. That's a different discussion for H-1B. But just please remember that in general, you'll be able to stay in America for 6 years under H-1B, and you need a job. Your sponsor is going to sponsor you. You cannot apply by yourself. Similarly, O1 is very similar like H-1B, but the difference is there's no lottery. The requirement is a little harder than H-1B, because for H-1B, basically, there's no requirement. You must have a bachelor degree. That's it. And literally, like, millions of people in this world have bachelor degrees, so they all qualify for H-1B. On the other hand, O1's requirements are a little harder. There's 8 criteria, and you let me select 8. So yeah, 8 criteria, and you have to meet 3 of those 8 criteria. If you meet 3, then you can apply for O1. Again, you cannot apply by yourself. Your sponsor is going to apply for you. But if you meet 3, then they can sponsor you. And if you get O1, again, you get 3 years and then extension again. O1 is also another very lucrative option for non-immigrant visas, like jobs. L1 is another one. So L1 is like, let's say there is an American company, let's say Gap. Gap is an international American company. They hired you in their, let's say, Paris office, or they hired you in their Dubai office, or India office, or let's say Singapore office, and then you worked there for 1 year. And then Gap said, oh, you're doing a great job. I would like to transfer you from our Singapore office to our American office. So if there's like an intra-company transfer from foreign office to local office, that guides like L categories. So there's L1, L2, L3, whole new discussion. Again, I'm not going detail, but short point to remember, if you are employed by a US corporation in their foreign office, they can transfer you to America with L visa. And that's also another good one. And there's a lot of benefits with L visas. The next one is P3. Oh, by the way, so P3, you can apply by yourself. Sorry, P3, you cannot apply by yourself. You must have an employer or agent, and then they will sponsor you. P3 is for very short period, like it can be 1 week, 1 month, or like depending on how long you need to come here for the certain job, and then you'll go back. So these are like the non-immigrant visa categories, mostly for jobs. Next one is entrepreneurship. See, I keep the same names like H1B, O1, L1, P3. However, all of these, I said you must have a job and your employer is going to sponsor you. The good thing is you can be the sponsor by yourself. You can be the employer and employee. It's a little tricky. It's not that easy to do, but again, there's a lot of smart people in this world. They can take the risk. So that, not risk, I should not use the word risk. They can take the extra hassle. That's the thing. So the way it works is, let's say H1B. Let me give you an example. So to apply for a sponsorship, you must have a company here in America. Let's say you, as a foreign person, you register a company here in America. Let's say it's named ABC Fashion LLC. And then ABC Fashion LLC is doing pretty good job getting some clients, making some money, have a bank account, have some office here in America, and you're depositing all the money in American bank account, and all this thing you're doing from a foreign country. You're not even here in America yet. Then your company can sponsor you to come to America with the H-1B visa. There are some extra things to consider. I'm not going that detail here because that's not the point for discussion. I'm just, it's like a survey kind of point to give you like idea. And then if you want to learn more about H1B, please go watch our video about H1B. But I'm saying, and same as like a O1. Let's say you are a foreign person living in Dubai. I'm just giving an example. You're a very good fashion model. You live in Dubai. You're opening an American business for fashion something. And then your business is doing good. Your business can sponsor you to come to America with a O1 visa. In that case, you'll be the employer, you'll be the employee. Of course, you must maintain certain employer-employee relationship, but you can do it. You can come to America, work under O1 visa in your own company. Same as L1, P3, all these things, you can do it by yourself, being both employer and employee at the same time. So that was my short presentation today about US immigration options for a fashion model. If you have any question, feel free to reach out to us. There's an email address, phone number. We have multiple offices all over the world. Reach out to us. We will help you in the best possible way. Thank you very much. Going back to Manashi.
Thank you so much, Mr. Mahajan, for the presentation over here. The fashion industry is highly competitive and immigration can feel like a huge challenge, but your breakdown makes the process far more approachable. So now, before we move on to our Q&A session, which is question and answer session, let's take a very short break. So stay tuned over here. We will be right back in over a minute.
At Raju Law, we are proud to offer one of our most promising services, the EB2 NIW application. With an incredible success rate of 94%, our team has helped more than 1,000 clients navigate this efficient route to permanent residency in the United States. EB2 NIW allows highly skilled professionals and individuals with exceptional abilities to apply for a green card without the need to find an employer sponsor. Whether you're a scientist, engineer, doctor, or entrepreneur, this visa offers a unique opportunity to live and work in the United States based on your qualifications and contributions. At Raju Law, we're here to guide you every step of the way, making the process seamless and stress-free. Contact Raju Law today for the free EB2 NIW evaluation and start your journey.
Welcome back, everyone. Now it's time for our Q&A segments where we will answer your most pressing questions. Now, here are some questions in the comment section. Now, let's start with first question by MD Abdur. What happens when time comes for citizenship but not received yet green card? What to do in this case?
I'm really confused about this question. What happens when time comes for citizenship but not received green card? It doesn't happen. So first you have to get green card. So in American context, and I don't know which country you're talking about, but we're talking about America. So in American context, the first step is to get green card. Once you have the green card, then in some situation, you can apply for citizenship after 3 years. In most cases, you have to wait until 5 years. And also not just 5 years, there's other calculation. In short, we say 5 years, but there is some, continuous residency requirement and other, moral character requirement. once you meet all those criteria, then you are eligible for application for citizenship, and it takes another 1 year in general to determine whether you're qualified for citizenship or not, and then you get citizenship. Not just random people will get citizenship. So I don't understand your question, but that's the short process for US citizenship.
Perfect. There is one more question by Family Fun from YouTube. Is there a possibility of EB2 NIW backlog reduction in October 2025 visa bulletin, since it marks the first month of the fiscal year? I would like to hear your opinion on this.
Well, I can tell my opinion, but my opinion and any other opinion from anybody, no matter say attorney, judge, or anybody, all those are pure speculation. So if I say yes, it's going to reduce the backlog, you'll be happy. I understand, but I don't have any supporting evidence for that. It's just by pure speculation. On the other hand, if I say no, 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 it's not going to be reduced, you'll be sad. But so these my opinion will not matter at all. That the fact is, please wait. This is the September. We're just going to wait for 1 more month. Follow the visa bulletin every month, and if it the if backlog reduces, it's good for many people. Great. If it doesn't reduce, I understand it's not good for you, but my opinion doesn't matter, honestly. Like, I can say anything that make you happy, but that's not the point of my job, to make you happy. I just try to say the honest thing, and the honest thing is, I don't know whether it will reduce, it will increase, it will remain the same. And not only me, nobody knows. So my advice to you, please wait for 1 more month and see what happens.
The same person is asking one more question. Is an interview with USCIS mandatory before a green card is issued for adjustment of status under EB2 NIW category? Also, when you will be coming to Bangladesh next October?
Yeah, answering second question first. Yes, this is kind of my plan at this moment. My plan changes very frequently based on different factors. Like, sometimes I have court hearing, I have court appearance, like a mandatory court appearance for my clients. So unless something happens, that is kind of my plan. That's last week of September, I'll be in Dubai. First week of October, I'll be in Bangladesh. Then I'm going to Thailand, Philippines, Japan, and then I'll come back to America in like October 15 kind of time. But it's very depends on many factors. So, but if you follow our Facebook page, our other social media, and our website, you'll get information like what time I'll be where. And if you want to talk to me in person, you can take definitely appointment and talk to me. But please follow our website and social media, you'll get information. The question to the first one, answer to the first question is, it depends. There is no hard and fast rule whether they are going to take interview or they are going to waive. Previously, under the previous president, we saw that if someone faced interview before under a different category, and later once they're in America, they apply for green card, USCIS used to waive interview. Like, let me give you an example. Let's say you came to America with a student visa, and definitely before getting a student visa, the embassy officer in your home country, they took interview, and they did like a background check and other thing. Later, when you apply for US green card, USCIS officers are like, okay, someone already took your interview, they checked your background, so what is the point for second interview? Let's waive it. But still, even under previous president, previous administration, we saw that in some situation, if there's any significant change in your background, especially in a criminal background or something else, then they call for interview. Nowadays, we see that more and more interview are happening. Even someone who faced interview before coming to America under F1 visa, H1B, or other kind of visa, they're still getting called by USCIS, even though there is no material change in their background. The short answer to your question, there is no fixed rule whether they are going to call for interview or they are going to waive the interview. Just keep your eyes open. They call for interview, just attend the interview, talk about everything they ask. And if they don't call for interview, if they waive it, it's good for you. It's good for everybody. So there's no fixed rule whether they're going to waive or they're going to call.
Perfect, perfect. There is one more question ahead from Mr. Naeem. Is there any opportunity for Bangladeshi pilot with 10 years of working experience?
So, short answer is yes, there are multiple opportunities, but just remember that there are not a lot of options for pilots, and the reason is in America, most of the commercial pilots they're retired Air Force officer, like a U.S. Air Force officer. After their retirement, they go for like a private, flying, like they get job like a Delta Airlines, United. So there's not like a lot of shortage of pilots here in America. That's why, like, U.S. immigration is very market driven. Like U.S. immigration process, like see like in what field they need more people, and they kind of like open the gate for that. And I'll be very honest, we need unskilled people, people who will work in agricultural firms, who will work in like a McDonald's, kind of like restaurants. We need more people than pilots. That's why there's not a lot of pilots, demand for pilots, and there's not a lot of opportunity for pilots. But it doesn't mean that there's no opportunity at all. Let me give you like a short story about one of my previous clients. He was a pilot from Nigeria, and he has like a 25 years of experience flying all over the world, especially in Africa. So he wanted to apply for NIW, and he wanted to apply as a pilot. And I said, it's very difficult to get approved as a pilot under NIW because it's very difficult to establish as a, for national interest as a pilot. So we talked, and, based on our discussion, finally he decided to apply not as a pilot, but as a trainer for pilots. Like anytime any plane making company, like aeronautical company, they make a plane, like like for example Boeing or Airbus. Not only they make the actual plane, but they also develop the training material for pilots of foreign countries. So a lot of time when they develop training manual, they kind of consider American pilots in their mind. However, a lot of, like, African pilots, Asian pilots, Middle Eastern pilots, they're going to also fly the same plane. So a lot of training material are not enough for foreign pilots who speak a different language, who has like a different cultural background. So this client, particular client, pilot from Nigeria, presented himself as a like a trainer for pilots, especially focusing on improving the training, pilot training manual improvement kind of things. And his application was approved under NIW. So, short answer to your question, there are some opportunities, but my suggestion would be, please do not present yourself as a pilot. There's not a short of pilots here in America, but come up with some unique idea where America needs some help, and you can add some value. Always try to add some value in American workforce, American industry, American society. Then you will have a better opportunity for immigration. That's my short answer.
Okay, perfect. One more there is, what are my options to work as a pilot in the US?
I think I already answered
As
this question.
yeah, as you
Exactly. Yeah.
already
So I'm not
answered.
going to
Yes,
repeat. Yes.
correct. Yes, you need to be more creative in that thing.
Repeat. Yeah.
Okay. Now going on to the topics from EB3, which is skilled professional and other workers. My priority date for my EB3 case is finally current. What is the very first communication I should expect from the National Visa Center, NVC?
Yeah. I think you already received communication from NVC. If your priority date is current, this is kind of, I'm very confident you already got a case number and a password even before priority date is current. If not, please reach out to NVC and say, hey, my priority date is current. Please give me the case number and password. Once you receive the case number, password, you can log into your portal, in NVC portal, and then they will ask you to fill up forms like DS-260, submit a lot of evidence, a lot of information, fill up the forms, pay your fees. And once they receive everything, they will call you DQ, documentarily qualified. Once you are documentarily qualified DQ, they will send your package to the embassy. Let's say you are from Bangladesh, they will send the package to US embassy in Bangladesh. If you're from Pakistan, it will send a US embassy in Pakistan, and the local US embassy is going to call you, contact you. In general, their contact is like, hey, we received your file, where you're in the queue, we will let you know. And every 2 months, like 60 days, they're constantly sending this very like generic kind of message. But once your queue is right, they will call for actual interview. You'll go to the interview, they will ask you question about the actual job that you applied for under EB3. If they approve your visa, you will get immigrant visa, come to America. So at this moment, if you already did not receive your case number and password, please contact NVC, they will give you.
Perfect, perfect. There is one more question from the same guy, Naeem. Can I get AM open work permit if my wife becomes an investor in a business?
Yes, so by investor in a business, I think you mean E2. Yes, if your wife is a E2 investor, she will only get permission to run the business. She will not get permission to work outside. On the other hand, you being a spouse, you have like an open work permit, so you can work in any industry that you qualify for. So if my understanding is that you are a pilot, once you get the work permit, yes, you can reach out to Delta Airlines, United, or any American Airlines, or anywhere, like even in training schools as a trainer, and then yeah, you can work there.
Perfect, perfect. Next question, moving on again to the EB3 one. What happens if a treatable medical condition like turbulence is discovered during my EB3 medical exam?
That's a good question. It depends on the embassy. U.S. government has certain requirements, like to come to America with a green card, you must meet certain, physical requirement. If you do not meet those physical requirement, they are not going to give you visa, because they want, healthy people coming to America. Because especially for unskilled categories, you have to be healthy. On the top of that, they also have certain country specific and region specific requirements. Like I know that in a certain part of Africa, they have some sort of a special kind of diseases, like a special virus and other things. So you have to take those special vaccine and other thing. So my advice to you would be, reach out to your local embassy and see what is the requirement by the U.S. government. Also, if there's any country or region specific requirements, if you do not meet those requirements, they may not give you visa. So please be careful about those things.
Perfect, perfect. Now we have questions from another topic, which is H4 EAD, Employment Authorized Documents. My spouse H1B and H4 status are approved, but I'm still in Dhaka. Can I apply for H4 EAD from Bangladesh?
No, you have to come to America first under H4, and then like a lot of time, once you come here, then you can apply for immediately, and then you will get work permit. You will not get work permit from outside of America, because no U.S. embassies in a foreign country have authority to issue work permit for people who are coming to America under non-immigrant visa.
Perfect. We have one more person, Mr. Dodal Islam. If I apply for an EB3 visa, should I consider my birth country or my current country of residence?
So for visa, like for local U.S. embassy, you can choose any country. You can choose either your birth country. If I apply for EB3 visa, should I consider my birth country or my country? Yeah, you can choose any of those countries. That is good for you. You can choose any. There's no problem.
Perfect, perfect. Next question, again moving up on to H4 EAD. What is the exact eligibility criteria to apply for an H4 EAD?
There's no criteria. It's very easy. It's a spouse based, like a marriage based application. So if your spouse is a H1B holder, and there's a two requirement, if you meet any of those two, like if he has a I-140 approved, or past like 6 years of H1B, and now in under AC-21. So all the requirements is with your spouse. You do not need to meet any requirement. All you need to meet is like you're married to that person. If you're married to that person, you are eligible to apply for EAD card.
Perfect. We'll move on to the next topic, which is O1B, Extraordinary Ability in Arts or Achievement in TV or Films, which we already discussed today.
Yeah.
For my O1B petition, which is more persuasive, the commercial success of my work, which is example, let's say sold out concert in Dhaka, or critical acclaim, which is example positive review in arts journals.
I think for O1, it would be more commercial. Definitely for arts, critical value is also very important. I totally understand. But for O1, because this is employer based, right? Your employer is going to sponsor you. So your employer will definitely sponsor you if you have a commercial value, if you have a market value. If you're like a very, critically acclaimed artist, but if you do not have any commercial, success, commercial value, your employer may not apply for you. So I would say commercial success will be more important than critical acclaim.
Perfect. There is one more question. Can my band apply for one O1B visa together?
Yes, if your band is a US corporation, like even you being a foreign artist, you can register a band here in America, like in a musical band, and your band can sponsor the entire team or one person individually. Yes, they can do that, but they have to be a US registered corporation, and they must have, like, some sort of business, because at the end of the day, O1 is like, business immigration kind of thing. So employer based, so they must have some financial transactions.
Perfect. Now, one more question from Mr. Dodal. I mean, my current date is considered is my birth country or my most recent stay country?
Birth country. In any US immigration process, your country of eligibility, your priority date, everything would be considered as a birth country. So this is a very good for a lot of people from India. So many Indian parents, they moved to Middle East a long time ago, and the child was born in either Qatar, Dubai, or Saudi Arabia, Oman. So if the child was born in those countries, and later if they want to immigrate to America, their country of origin would be those Middle Eastern country, not India. On the other hand, if any parents from those countries, if they were in India where the child was born, the country of origin would be India. Like the short answer to your question, the country of your birth will determine your date for eligibility.
Perfect, perfect. Now, going on to Mr. Naeem, how long does it take apply to start a business with an investor visa?
There's no right or wrong answer. There's no fixed time. It basically depends if you have a good friend or family here in America, because investment-based application requires some groundwork. You have to register a business, you have to open a bank account, you have to rent an office space. You have to do some preliminary work. So I strongly recommend folks to find a friend or family who can help you with this initial journey. If you have a good friend or family who can help you, the journey would be way shorter and way easier. But if you do not have a friend or family, then it will be a little difficult. It's not impossible, but it will be a little difficult because you have to do everything by yourself from foreign country. There are some American company who can help you, but they will charge you a lot of money. So there is no fixed time. It depends on how you can manage everything.
Perfect, perfect, perfect. Now, that's a wrap up for our Q&A session. Mr. Mahajan, thank you so much once again for your time, your knowledge, and your guidance on this very special area of immigration. And to our wonderful audience, thank you so much for tuning in today. If you are an aspiring model or representing talent in a fashion industry, we hope this episode gave you clarity and direction. Immigration for All goes live every Monday at 11 a.m. EST, 9 p.m. Bangladeshi time, 7 p.m. Dubai time, Gulf time. So make sure to subscribe, follow, and mark your calendars. That's all for today's episode. And as always, stay tuned for a few immigration news updates right after this outro. Until next time, please take care, and we will see you next week on Immigration for All.
Hello everyone and welcome to this week's immigration news from Raju Law. We bring you the latest updates on US immigration policies, visa changes and news that could impact families, workers and students. This week's top headlines. USCIS revives neighborhood checks for citizenship. Trump proposes 4-year limit on student and media visas. USCIS introduces ACH payments, phases out paper checks. Visa delays may affect 2026 World Cup fans. US freezes work visas for foreign truck drivers. First up, USCIS is changing how applications are reviewed. USCIS is bringing back neighborhood checks for naturalization applicants after 30 years. Officers may now contact neighbors, employers, or colleagues to assess an applicant's character and eligibility for citizenship. Next, there is a proposed change for international students and media workers. The Trump administration proposes a rule limiting international students to 4 years in the US on F and J visas, and 240 days for foreign journalists on I visas. Extensions will require reapplication and fees. USCIS is also modernizing payment options. USCIS now allows payments via ACH debit from US bank accounts, phasing out paper checks and money orders by October 28, 2025. This aims to reduce payment delays and fraud. Credit and prepaid card options are still available. Next, there is news for 2026 World Cup fans. Getting a US B1 B2 tourist visa for the 2026 FIFA World Cup may be difficult for some due to long wait times. Citizens from 42 countries with a visa waiver can skip the visa, but others like Ecuador and Nigeria face delays up to 9 months, possibly missing the tournament. Finally, a freeze on work visas for foreign truck drivers. The US has paused work visas for foreign truck drivers following a deadly crash involving an undocumented driver in Florida. The freeze affects H-2B, E-2, and EB-3 visas, but doesn't impact Canadian or Mexican drivers on B1 visas. That wraps up this week's immigration news. Stay connected with Raju Law for updates, guidance, and insights on US immigration policies. We will be back next week with the latest developments you need to know.